Welcome, this is Jeff Bricker, the Chair of the Hospitality Administration Program at Ivy Tech. We're glad you're here. We're glad that you selected Ivy Tech Hospitality for your studies. I want to talk to you a little bit about some exciting changes coming up. First though, I just want to clarify, our mission is to create a culture of excellence that will lead to student success. You're here to meet your educational goals, and we are here to support that. So everything that we do is about helping you reach your goals. We've talked to our advisory council for years and taken surveys to figure out what are the best ways we can implement change that would help you reach your goals. We heard back from you through student surveys, and we heard from our advisory council from industry professionals that we need more space to accommodate growth. We've known that for some time. The program enrollment keeps growing, and we're running out of room, frankly, and I think you've experienced that in the lab kitchens. We also heard from you and our advisory council that state-of-the-art equipment is important, that as our industry evolves and new equipment is introduced, we need to be on the cutting edge of having you train on new equipment. We also heard that you wanted more schedule options to finish faster in our student surveys. You told us that often you couldn't get the classes you need to finish, and we've been listening to that. We also have heard from our advisory council that we need to set you up for success in terms of finishing faster. Our industry needs you. There's a lot of growth in hospitality, and the industry is waiting for you to come out and share your skills and knowledge. In addition to that, we also realized from research that time is your enemy. The longer you take to finish your educational goals, whether it be a certificate or a degree, the more likely you're going to run into a life circumstance that'll derail you from your plan. So we wanted to create some schedule options that would allow you to finish a little quicker than normal. We also heard from our advisory council and from many of you through the student surveys that you wanted more hands-on learning, more experiential learning. And we can do that through student-operated restaurants and through a student-operated bakery cafe. So these are some changes that we're beginning to implement, and I want to share with you how that's going to happen. In response to your request, coming this fall semester, we have a new facility on campus. We'll have more lab kitchens. Currently, you know we operate in 2 lab kitchens. We'll be having 6 lab kitchens with state-of-the-art equipment, a student-operated bakery cafe, a student-operated restaurant, and more schedule options to help you find the schedules you need to meet your goals. We'll also be bringing on more faculty as we increase the number of class options throughout the program.
I brought you up here for a view of our growing Ivy Tech campus. Isn't it amazing how fast this campus is growing? 7 years ago, I began talking with our Ivy Tech Hospitality Advisory Council and college administration about growth of this program. We needed to expand, we needed more space to grow, and at that time, the only buildings on campus were the Tech building right here and the North Meridian Center building right here, where we currently have our labs on the 4th floor. With these 2 buildings on campus, it was evident to us at that time that there was no room on campus for us to grow. So we began a search, and actually it was a 7-year search that took us through 5 different off-campus sites looking for a home for the hospitality program. Well, after 7 years of searching, and after 5 failed business plans, there were no circumstances that would open up for us to add programming in the city. In December of 2010, the paradigm for our search shifted when the building behind us, the former Stouffer's Hotel, became available. The Lilly Endowment gave the college $22.9 million to purchase and renovate this building, which will be the home of our hospitality program this fall. This is going to be fantastic because we'll be right here on campus, so all the college resources will be available to you as students. The library, the bookstore, all the other campus buildings at your disposal. So this is wonderful. This is going to be our home right here on campus. Well, as you can see, our new home for hospitality, it's under construction right now. So because of that, I can't take you on a tour, but I want to take you on a virtual tour. So let's jump into the building through this virtual tour and see what's in store for you.
So coming this fall is the brand new building on campus. This is the former Stouffer's Hotel, and what an exciting opportunity for us to get access to this old hotel with its rich history of hospitality in Indianapolis, and for that to be our new home for the Ivy Tech Hospitality and Culinary Program. Very excited about this, and I just want to take you a walk through. Although there's a lot of construction going on right now, we want to take you through a virtual tour so you know what's coming. This is the first floor, and as you walk into the lobby of the first floor, you'll find a bakery cafe right here, and this is going to be the student-operated bakery cafe. And within that operation, we'll be doing our pantry and breakfast class and our bakery merchandising classes. And that's kind of shaded blue there. As you go behind it, you'll see a kitchen that supports the bakery cafe. And out in the open lobby there is seating. And to the right of that, you'll notice the locker rooms. We have bright, brand new locker rooms, large locker rooms that I know you'll appreciate. If you look behind the bakery cafe kitchen, we have the first baking lab. And this is a lab that is designed for two specific courses in the curriculum, yeast breads and baking science. So all of the equipment in this lab is designed to support those two classes. Students taking those classes in our baking program will be offered many schedule opportunities. You can take classes morning, afternoon, evening, weekend, and you'll find that in this lab the kitchen is designed to support everything you'll do in that class. Across the hall is the baking and pastry lab, and that will host the classical pastries and chocolate and intro to baking classes. Those kitchens will also be equipped with state-of-the-art equipment to support those two classes. And again, you'll have opportunities to take classes in all day parts, nights, afternoons, mornings, weekends. Behind the baking and pastry lab kitchen is the catering lab, and that will be used to support catering on campus. So in the building, you can see off to the left kind of the coral colored space is the original auditorium of the hotel. That's being restored, and that will be the host for many events on campus, and the catering kitchen will be where all the food is produced for that. Directly behind the baking and pastry lab is actually the commissary for the building. And the commissary is going to be where all the food products are received, where they're organized and grouped into boxes that go into all the lab classes. So this is where student MODs will pick up your box for your class. Across the hall in the corner of the first floor, you'll see there in the blue, this is the fabrication lab, and this is where meat, fish, and seafood fabrication classes will take place. Again, that would be in all day parts, so you'll have the opportunity to take the class in the day and time that fits your schedule. We'll move to a picture of the lobby. You can see what this is really going to look like when the construction is complete. As you walk in, you'll notice to the left a stairwell that goes up to a mezzanine. The mezzanine is outside of a second floor auditorium, and there are also more labs up there that we'll see in a couple of moments. But look down on the first floor where you see the seating. That is seating for the bakery cafe. And then to the right of that is where the lockers will be. There will also be student space here for studying and access to computers. This is what the baking and pastry lab kitchen will look like. So you can see that we're following this concept of having island stations, and each island will support 4 students, 2 on each side, and you'll find all the equipment needed there. You'll also notice the monitors and the way they're positioned so that regardless of which side of the baking island that you're on, you'll be able to see the monitor and see the demo. At the front is the instructor's station where you see the little laptop here, and the instructor can from this position change the monitors and do a demo or do an instructional DVD or do a PowerPoint guided discussion with you. Along the back wall is a bank of equipment, ovens, proofers, everything that's needed in terms of state-of-the-art equipment to support intro to baking and classical pastries and chocolate classes. As we move to the second floor, you'll see off to the right this large coral colored space is an auditorium. It has very high ceilings and it hosts about 700 people, and you'll see a lot of events that happen there. In front of it is a walkout space here in the white, and that's just a place for people to convene prior to meetings or events or after. There are also classrooms up here, and these will be hospitality classrooms and computer labs. And then you can see in the blue down this corridor more lab kitchens. The first one we'll stop to on the right side is a culinary lab, and this is for basic skills. And in this lab kitchen we will do our basic food theory and skills class and soup, stocks, and sauces. The design of the kitchen is state-of-the-art equipment featuring 2 island hoods and a battery of equipment underneath each hood that will support 4 students on each side, so a max of 16. And this is true of all of our lab kitchens. They're all designed for 16 students. As you cross the hall, you'll find an advanced culinary lab where we will do our garde manger class. It is designed very similarly with 2 island hoods and a battery of equipment underneath, each to support 16 students total, 4 on each side. And then you'll find also the equipment necessary for a garde manger class. Behind is a storage room, and then back here in this little corner is a humidity and temperature controlled room for curing meats. So we will be hanging in there sausages that are produced in the class, prosciutto, and that's going to be visually very appealing. In the back corner, the last lab kitchen we'll look at in this floor is our advanced pastry lab. And in this lab kitchen will be our cakes, icings, and fillings class, advanced decorating and candies and wedding cake classes, and plated dessert and pastry salon. So a lot of different pastry classes of the advanced level in this lab kitchen. And the equipment is all state-of-art, designed to support those classes. You'll see out in the hallway the little blue box. That's actually a very exciting place we refer to as the chocolate room. It's a humidity and temperature controlled space for chocolate and sugar work. You're going to love that. This is the second floor auditorium, and you can see in the screen in the background it says April in Paris. We believe this would be a host for April in Paris in future years. This overlooks Meridian Street. It's very high ceilings and is a very beautiful space. On the 3rd floor in the back here are offices. And then if you look down the lower image here, this is actually the penthouse or the top floor of the building. And you can see on the right, the east end of this top floor, in the coral color is the seating. So this is a student-operated restaurant with glass all the way around and a fantastic view of Indianapolis. It seats 160 people. And then as you walk down the corridor behind the seating area, you get a great view of the skyline of Indianapolis. And behind it in the blue are lab kitchens for the restaurant experience. So this area on the penthouse level is designed for a customer service class, for classical cuisines, and for specialized cuisines. Behind the lab kitchen here are supporting pieces of equipment with coolers and freezers and dry storage and a dish machine. On the west end of the penthouse floor is a small conference space for meetings. This is what the penthouse dining room will look like. You can see out the windows, great view of the campus and of downtown Indianapolis. Also in this space you'll notice the woodwork. This is the original woodwork from the Stouffer's building. On the footprint of the space was the old Stokely Van Camp mansion, and when that was torn down to build the hotel back in the 1960s, they kept actually the wood and the fireplace marble and stained glass from that space, and it was used in the dining room. So it's going to be a beautiful space and a great learning environment for customer service. One of the greatest features of this new facility will be the capacity to host more flexible schedule options. And I want to talk to you about those a little bit. As you're getting ready to do registration for fall, I want you to consider all the flexible schedule options that you have. We'll be launching a new one that we like to call the 4x4 lab schedule, and we actually have the green curriculum sheets for you to pick up to follow this model. Here's a few of the key features. These are lab classes that will meet 4 days a week for 4 weeks, and the time is from 7:30 in the morning till 12:20 in the afternoon, and they meet Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for that 5-hour block, 4 days a week for 4 weeks. This is ideal for full-time students. It allows for the greatest amount of learning retention. You have the least amount of class load at one time for a full-time student. If you can imagine that you're taking one class, going 4 days a week in the morning, finishing it in 4 weeks, and then starting the next class. It allows for the greatest focus on the course material. If you follow the green track, you can actually finish the degree in 18 months on this track. It allows you to be free on your evenings and weekends. And you could follow up with the lab classes by taking your non-lab classes in either the 2x8 formats, meaning they would meet twice a week for 8 weeks, or taking them online. The 2x8 schedule model, we are referring to that as the yellow model. So again, you can pick up the yellow planning sheets to map out your 2x8 schedule. These are lab classes that meet 2 days a week for 8 weeks. And they're offered in afternoon, evening, or weekend options, so very flexible formats. You can pick the mode that fits you best. You can see here that you could pick a Monday, Tuesday afternoon or evening, a Wednesday, Thursday afternoon or evening, or a weekend, which would be a Friday evening and Saturday morning. This allows you to lower your class load at one time. You could still be a full-time student, or if you're a part-time student, the 2x8 classes are going to be a more focused approach than the traditional 1x16 classes. We believe it's going to be a great fit for any student's schedule needs. So pick up a yellow planning sheet and map out your 2x8 plan. The idea behind these is that you should pick the best plan that fits your life. 4x4 lab classes, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 7:30 a.m. to 12:20, or the 2x8 lab classes. They're available afternoons, evenings, or weekend options. But please know that the non-lab classes are available in both 16-week and 8-week versions in all day parts for both full and part-time students. And we always have internet-based non-lab classes in both formats, 2x8 and 16-week. Finally, I just want to talk briefly about the 16-week lab classes. This was the traditional approach where you just go once a week for 16 weeks. Those have the least amount of learning retention and take the longest to finish the program in. And so you'll notice that they're offered in a very limited availability with just Friday or Saturday options only. We know that those classes are important for folks who work full-time during the week and have families and other responsibilities and can only take one class at a time. And so that option is still available, but it's limited to Friday or Saturday, which we believe is the best fit for those students. So pick up the right kind of a schedule format that's going to fit your need, and we ask that you'll work with your hospitality faculty advisor in planning your schedule. They can help you to determine the best schedule mode that fits your life. They also are there to help you with problem solving, with career advising, with externship planning, and to answers and questions. Also, please get connected. Don't miss out on anything. As an Ivy Tech hospitality student, there are a lot of things that go on, and to stay connected, check your Ivy Tech email account. We send information all the time, whether it be scholarship alerts, job alerts, but other college-related information that's important to your experience here as a student, so don't miss out on that. Also, the Blackboard Community Hospitality site is available to you 24/7 as a host for hospitality information. You'll also find that we're doing monthly hospitality info sessions on campus now, so watch for the next info session and come to hear firsthand of upcoming changes and have that opportunity to ask questions. We also encourage you to get involved in ISHA, the Indiana Student Hospitality Association. This is a hospitality student organization here on campus designed to help you stay connected to all the great things available to you to make the most of your educational experience. Finally, I'll say register early for classes. This way you're going to get the schedules that best fit your needs. Please don't procrastinate there. Thank you for watching. If you find that you didn't have access to the ORG hospitality link in the community tab in Blackboard, shoot me an email and we'll make sure that you get access. We want you to stay connected, and we want to provide this resource of information to you that's available all the time. If you have any questions, please see your hospitality advisor. Thank you.